What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Monday Nights with yours truly, Brick Johnson. I'm the one, the only. Welcome to Conqueror TV. We have a very special guest tonight that's actually going to be on our special showcase that's coming up in about a week or so. We got, and he's going for a championship as well. We got BoJack Riz. How we doing there, sir?
How's it going?
Good.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Looking good, feeling good. Now,
You know it.
Talk about it within the interview, but you do have a very special match coming up here. I would think this weekend. Is that correct?
It is coming up. I do believe you are correct, sir.
And what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is I'm going to become the new Soulfire champion, plain and simple.
All right, what do you want to say to Mr. Haywood?
I mean, what I want to say to Mr. Haywood is, I think his biggest downfall in this whole thing, and I don't think it's a secret. I mean, the man's got an ego the size of Texas, let's be real. And I'm going to go ahead and do what I can to just kind of knock a chip or two off of his shoulder. So be ready for that, buddy. That's all I can tell him right now. A good gambler never reveals his full hand. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple of things up my sleeve for Mr. Haywood, and I just hope that he's ready for a beast like me. I'm like nothing he's ever seen before. So we're going to see if he's ready.
All right. And, if you have any questions or comments for Brick Johnson or BoJack, just put it right there in the comments and we'll read them as fast as we can. Now, what's the difference between a 2-minute match compared to like a regular 3.5-minute match?
Well, there's a lot that could be said in just 60 seconds time. You know what I mean? And when you cut down your normal length, you cut it down you got to make sure that you make your points and they got to hit hard and they got to be clear. And you want to do the best you can to expose your opponent's weaknesses and highlight your strengths in that 2 minutes time. And it's not an easy task.
Would you say that's harder than a regular, 3.5-minute match?
I'm going to go ahead and say it's all subjective. For me, 2 minutes is a lot harder because I like to tell a story. And 2 minutes is a lot more difficult for me to tell a nice rounded story. But, I feel like this also helps with my versatility too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. And then, so how did you get into promos?
Honestly, kind of like everybody else, man, I was a fan of the game, of the sport since day one. And, a lot of people are drawn to the wrestling, but for me, I was always drawn to what the guys were saying. I was always tuning in to see what your Jake the Snake, Jake the Snakes, your Ric Flairs. I wanted to hear what those guys were going to say. The Rock, Stone Cold, those guys that they could capture an audience with just their words. That's where it was at for me. And I've always kind of wanted to do that. I've kind of always had a vision. I have bad knees from football in high school and stuff. And I want to become a manager someday. I know I'm never going to be athletic enough or, in one piece enough to be able to bump and wrestle for real. But I think if I hone my skills a little bit more and learn how to talk a little bit better, I think I could be a manager someday on the indie circuit. That's kind of a goal of mine.
All right. And where did you start? Because obviously you're, a little newer to HSP. Where did you get your start?
Yeah, honestly, I've only been doing this for about a year total. I got my main start I got with Rob Chino over at what used to be WPW. It's our WPWF now. It's my original home. It's always going to be my home until the doors close. That really got my beak wet into the whole thing, and I kind of honed this character and kind of went off to the runnings from there, and here we are. So it's working for me so far.
Yeah, so how did you get into, how'd you find out about HSP then?
Actually, I was part of Full Throttle, or not Full Throttle, I'm sorry. I was part of FTW, the Premier Promo League, and had a match with Heathen there. One of my first matches. Him and I did a best 2 out of 3. I ended up getting the better of Heathen over there. So the talks of me kind of becoming a Hellraiser kind of started there. And because they're over here and they want to bring, they want to make me a part of the deal. So, I roll where they roll. I'm part of the brotherhood now. So it's do or die with all them boys. I go up to bat for them just like they would for me. Guys have had my back.
How's that going with those two at Hellraisers?
What exactly do you mean? Go ahead and clarify for me, brother.
Okay. How is it tag teaming with them or being a group compared to like facing him, and how is the group itself?
I tell you what, man, everybody has seen the damage that those two can do together, and having faced Heathen, I'd rather be on his good side than his bad side. He's one of the hardest competitors I've ever been against in my whole entire career, and I will say that until the day I hang it up. Heathen is the real deal, and Rig, we all know how Rig is. I mean, Rig is the man in and of himself. So, I mean, to have an opportunity to join that family and kind of pick those guys' brains, it was an all yes from the beginning for me.
All right. So how did you come up with the name BoJack Grizz?
Okay, there's actually a really cool story behind that, and I'm going to keep it 100% honest. A friend of mine, he's an E-Feder. Some of you guys might know him. I'm not going to drop names, but he's training, and he's part of Colby Carino's school. He trains under Colby Carino, Yakov, Havemeyer, those guys. And there's a competitor that you might know who he is from I think it's PWA, whatever the name of CWA. His name is BoJack. I actually got his blessing to take the BoJack from his name, and I put the Grizz with it. And so it kind of came from my friend. He gave me the name, but the character and the attitude, it's kind of all my deal. So.
All right. So it sounded like you've been a lifelong wrestling fan too.
Yeah.
Where does your character kind of stem from?
I've always kind of envisioned myself as kind of a little bit of a mixture of like JBL and a little MJF, kind of, not insulting, but, kind of snide, a little subtle with it, and then kind of a little bit of a bully aspect from the JBL kind of thing. That's kind of how I've always kind of started it. And I did it once and it worked. I used to actually go by a character. I used to be the bear, BoJack Grizz, and it was kind of a little too tame. So, got with my friend Rob Chino, and he gave me the name, the standard BoJack Grizz. Said, what if you put on a suit? What if you put on a nice shirt and a tie? Kept the glasses, got a little more edge, a little more attitude, a little subtle with it, kind of like MJF, and that's kind of how it happened. I mean, keeping it 100.
And we got a question here from Dr. Quack here. How are you preparing for Hollywood Haywood at the Champion Showcase?
How am I preparing? That's a great question. I'm going to tell you 100%. I see right through Haywood, and he doesn't scare me one bit. So the way I've been preparing, everybody's seen my failures. He kind of wanted to address how his list of accomplishments doesn't compare to my failures. And what I would say to that is my failures have been 100% public center. You guys have had a front row ticket to each and every time I've dropped the ball. And the good part about that is where there's the bad, there's going to be double the good. You know what I'm saying? So where I kind of hit rock bottom can only go up from there. So where he's made the big mistake is giving me a little bit of that to chew on, giving me a little extra fuel, more than I already needed. So all he really did was just make a huge mistake and make it worse for himself.
Now, what would you say, as of like right now, I know you're still a year in and stuff, what would you say has been your like favorite match or like your most accomplished match at the moment?
Honestly, man, I got to go back to the 2 out of 3 with Heathen. That thing was a brawl. That one really pushed me to my limits, made me become better. I've kind of been better ever since then. From it, he made me better. You can't ask for anything more in a competitor like that, somebody that pushes your limits. We kind of agreed that we could just kind of go to town on each other. There was nothing off limits, and that made for a whole great thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'll ever top that, but I'm sure going to do my best to try.
Now, before this match, you were in the gauntlet. How was that for you?
A little bit off my game. I'm not going to lie. That kind of took me out of my element. And, man, the storyteller he was in a whole nother realm that day. Let's just say that. You can't go from one and all the way to the end and not be out of your freaking mind. You know what I'm saying? My timing was off, so I got left with 10 seconds of dead air time. One of the most awkward moments in my entire career, and I own that. I wish I could have that one back because it wouldn't have gone that way, I don't think.
We got one here. Bojack, do you think Hollywood Haywood is taking you too lightly?
I honestly think that Hollywood Haywood has taken everybody too lightly. I think he's let his ego overrun his actual talent, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Now, is there any dream matches that you have or dream opponents that you would like to face?
You know what? There is, there is somebody down the, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't say it's like a dream match, but there is one that I do need to redeem. And I've been talking about it since he beat me in Heart and Soul, and I do need a piece of landfill again one more time. That one still eats at me. Him and I need to see each other again.
All right. And then how do you prepare, say, like for a promo? How do you get, like, what do you do to get ready for when you're going to record or get in that mindset of promoing? Like, what do you do to get into that?
Okay, what I like to do is if there's a hype to go off of from my opponent, I kind of like to watch that right before. And if I've already watched it, I'll rewatch it so I can hit some key points so I don't miss anything. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, my style has always been I click the button and I go. I don't retake. I don't reshoot. I'm always one take. I shoot from the hip. Everything's from the top of my head. And that's kind of it. I kind of go into it. I like to listen to a little bit of music first. Sometimes it's metal. Sometimes it's hip hop. It depends on the mood, and then I kind of like to feel, I kind of get in that kind of bop. I get a little rhythm. I kind of feel the way the promo is going to go. You know what I mean? And then I just kind of get into the mindset that bar none, I'm the best to ever do it in my head. Anyway, you're always going to be your biggest fan and your harshest critic. You know what I mean? So yeah. I get in there and I say, I'm the man and can't nobody beat me. And then I click the button and we go. And what happens, happens. You know what I mean?
So if just kind of go back, I'm just kind of curious here. When you say one take, what if it's not as best as you think? Do you just scrape it and do another one? Or what do you do?
You know what? I can't sit here and lie. There's been a time or two where I've done it, but 90% of the time I just roll with it. I'll throw it in the KindMaster to edit. I'll do my black and white thing, pick my track, and I'll usually just kind of rock with it. So that's why sometimes you get the good with the good. You get the stutters in there. You get the trips sometimes. I feel like it makes it more authentic. In my mind, it makes it more authentic to me. I'm kind of a throwback to like the 80s style. You know what I mean? I love me some Nick Bockwinkel, guys like that. So that's kind of, you see that in my style a little bit. It's kind of you get in front of the camera and what you get is what you get.
Real quick, if you had blonde hair out, like what you're looking right now, almost like Vampiro.
I've gotten that before a time or two. I've heard that. I'll take it too. I'll take that. That's a compliment. I'll take that.
Another question here from Dr. Quack. What's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh, what's my favorite scary movie? You know what? Honestly, I'm a fan of the cheesy horror movies, like the New Moon style stuff. You guys, it's more of a comedy horror movie, but it's a trilogy. It's called the Evil Bong series. Go watch that. It's about a possessed water pipe, and it's hilarious. Tommy Chong's in it. It's fun. I love the New Moon style, Ginger Dead Man, demonic toys, stuff like that. The real cheesy ones I really tend to like.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We got to pay the bills, and we'll be back with my special guest, Bojack.
you have ever wanted to own a championship belt made to the highest quality standards, an exact duplicate of your favorites growing up that you saw on TV, or your own dreamed up customization, reach out to ORM Belts, the official sponsor of Heart and Soul Promotions, maker of the Soulfire, Tag Team, and Pure Heart Championship. That's ORM Belts.
On June 16th and 17th, 6 companies come out to promote you. 6 companies come out to show why they're the best. Welcome to the Champion Showcase.
All right, guys, we're back. You know, we other than little old about the gauntlet, but everything else is great in there. You know, we got Crystal Infinity. Check them out. Go on, redbubble.com, buy our merch. You know, ORM. I mean, you could tell I'm a belt collector too. I love my belts.
Definitely.
Do you have any belts yourself? Like, do you like collecting those or?
You know what? I'm kind of getting in the beginning of it. I kind of got something in the works. I've been talking with someone. I want something custom. I did have one before, but kind of fell on hard times. Had to pay some bills, so went to the pawn shop. That's how it goes. But happens.
Yeah, I'll tell you something right now. It's an addiction. When you start, you won't stop. I mean, I'm at 10 right now. I've had up to 12 or 15 at one time. I've bought, sold, trade. Yeah. We had a couple of products here. Says, yes, cheesy horror movies are the best.
Always. Cheesy horror movies for the win. 100%.
Salem's Lot was one of the best horror flicks.
It's a good movie. And it's a good movie. I think it's one of the more underrated ones. I really do.
And we got a comment here. It's a little long. It says, asking for Villa, what do you say to the fact that you got in the gauntlet name being drawn and then get a title shot because your name was drawn? Because you didn't earn your spot, you simply got lucky. Is your luck going to run out? Because
that's the thing right there. You see, that's the thing right there. Only a jealous person is going to go ahead and call it luck. You see, where you go ahead and call it luck, my friend, I call it fate. The promo gods just shined down upon me and said, you know what, son? Here you go. One more chance at redemption. And I, for one, just like you guys, if your name was drawn, you would be just as happy and listening to everybody else say that you're just as lucky as me. So I really don't want to hear it. It is what it is.
And the fun part was because the third member of the Highway Hellraiser, they didn't win by luck. They earned their spot, which could be neither here nor there. It could have been any of us. I mean, obviously, none of us in laying it to anybody else. Storyteller went through. I started as number 1, which was very difficult. I had nothing to go against anybody, and he was always second, and he got all the way through. So congratulations on him. Congratulations on you getting your title shot too.
Yeah, I mean, and I sat right here, and I'm like, what more do you want from me? I earned that I dropped the ball in that. But hey, like I said, man, redemption. It's all I got to say. Haters gonna hate. You know what I'm saying?
Is there any other 80 cheesy movies that you like?
Oh man, I was an 80s to early 90s baby. I'm a sucker for all the Back to the Futures. I love that. I love all the Rocky movies. I love classics, dude. It's the classics for me. I can't even lie.
Right. You gotta love all the old 90 movies too. You go back and one of my favorite wrestling movies has to be, and I know people are like, Ready to Rumble. That just oozes out WCW
awesome movie.
All in that movie.
Awesome movie. Awesome movie. When the king says wakey, wakey, hands off Snakey, I still die every time. Every time.
I've heard that, I don't know how many times, where did that come from? And then I saw the movie, I'm like, that's where it came from.
Yes. I love it. I love when they finally get her to say, I will rule you. I lose it, man. That movie is great.
Are you a big car guy?
I am. I'm more of a Mopar guy. I like Mopars, the Road Runners, the darts. the Challengers, all of them. I'm a Mopar guy through and through.
Okay, so what's your favorite car then?
Honestly, my favorite car. A lot of people laugh at me. I am in love with the Roadrunner, hands down in love with the Roadrunner. Any year, any make, any model, and the Super Bee. That big spoiler, man. I love that car.
Now, outside of promoing, then what kind of other hobbies do you have?
Oh man, straight up, I'm a country boy, man. I hunt, I fish, I ride snowmobile in the winter. I play golf, nice weather, a little bit of basketball. I used to coach small fry football when I was in high school because I couldn't play no more after I got hurt. And I got 3 little ones, 2 boys. When they start playing, I'll coach them. So I stay busy. I stay busy.
Kind of like Mr. Brett Favre that's in the high school coaching now, isn't he? Isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
You see a big famous guy, all of a sudden he's just coaching football. He's done with the spotlight, which is cool. You know,
just like anybody else.
A lot of us do that too. I've helped with like my kids with Cub Scouts and coach a little bit here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had any encouraging words for anybody that wants to get into promoing, what would you tell them?
Go for broke. Do it. Turn on the camera. Put something out there. Become a part of an organization. Get some decent feedback. Be open to feedback. Be open to receive, information. People are genuinely really good in this game. I met a lot of really awesome people that have reached out, given me tips, and I've done my best to return it. My inbox is always open. Out of character to anybody. I'm really approachable. I'm really easy to talk to. Love bouncing ideas off of people. I take criticism great, so definitely be able to do that. But go for it. Do it. Because, if you love wrestling and you don't know if you're ever going to be able to perform, this is as close as you're going to get to the stage, man. Pick up a phone, pick up a camera, hit record, and do the damn thing. Have fun with it.
We got
That's the main thing.
Here from Mr. Tin Man here says, just like the highway rails, Hellraiser, Bojack is a true Hellraiser. He wears glasses just like Rick does because neither of them can look their opponents in the eye. Just like he's always back because
okay, all right, we all know who this is. I love me some Tin Man, but he has got a bad case of misinformation. I have been rocking the Sunnies since before Rig or Heathen or him or anybody has known who I am.
Before y'all.
But you know what? I could take the glasses off just as good as anybody else and look right in the camera and give you all the love you want, Tin Man. Anytime you want to step up and say this to me, I'm ready for you. Anytime. After I'm done chewing up Haywood, I'll come right after you after Hodson.
So what's your background there? It looks like you're a little bit of Italian. Am I right or am I wrong?
Honestly, I'm Welsh. I come from the island of Wales, my friend.
So I was completely wrong there. All right. I was way
That's
wrong.
okay. A lot of people say I look Mexican. So, true story. I lost my Social Security card once when I was younger, and I went to get a new one. And the lady asked me if I had a green card. Swear to God. I said, ma'am, I was born here. She thought I was Mexican. So it's okay.
Yeah, at the end of it, it said at the end it says Bojack's going to get swept at the Champion Showcase.
We'll see. You know what, I might, but I'll tell you what, me and Haywood ain't coming out the same after that match, regardless of the outcome.
He says, looks like Mike Murder mixed with Roughneck. Is there anybody that now you're in the Champion Showcase? Are you doing like any double duty or just one match?
Yeah, I got called out over in VOH by one disciple. He decided he thought it was a good idea to call me out, and he's going to find out, just like everybody else, that that's a mistake.
So with this Champion Showcase, it's really unique because it's like this forbidden door that's kind of, well, I wouldn't say forbidden door. It was one thing that we never thought would happen, and it's actually happened. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's really cool. I think anytime you can merge something together and everybody is open and receptive and everybody buys in, I think it's great. I think it's great for the business, the sport, the whole thing. I think it's awesome. I'm all for it.
And then are you in more than, you just said you're in VOH as well. Are you in any other
Yeah, I mean, are we allowed to go full? Are we allowed to go full disclosure?
Go ahead.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm only in 4. I believe only 4. I operate in RWPWF because I'm part general manager. I run a program there. I'm CWF. I just became the TV title champion over at CWF, and then I'm here at HSP, and also in VOH as of right now. I belong to a couple other groups, but I haven't been booked. Elite Marks, I'm over there, but I haven't been booked yet. So we'll see what happens. But I'm around. I am around.
Well, as we wrap up here, here in HSP specifically, what do you have to say to like the guys and girls here as fans or anybody in the locker room? What do you want them to know, or what do you have to say to them
About HSP specifically?
Just like what you want to get out there, yeah.
Okay, I'll just go HSP specifically. This place right here, in my opinion, is the best place that I have ever operated in. I mean, you guys really got it going on here. With the fan interaction, the superstar interaction, the other alternate programming you guys do that's not even wrestling based. I mean, you guys got it going on. You got the merch thing going. I've never seen anybody else do anything quite like that to this level and this well. And I'm just being real. HSP has got it going on right now.
All right, we got another comment here. It says, always got to test out the waters with your guys on how well they can roll with punches when I'm live. It assures me that the future artists will keep doing great shows. Best of luck at the showcase. I got a Snicker bar betting on you.
Well, double that bet, buddy, because you're about to become a rich Snickers bar man. I'm gonna tell you that. And I appreciate it.
What do you say? Like, what do you have to say for like future opponents? Like,
future, look out, because whether I come out on top of this or not, there's a whole new BoJack Grizz coming along the way. You guys just stay tuned, and I feel bad for whoever's got me next.
All right, guys. Well, that is up for Conqueror TV this week. I want to say thank you to my guest, BoJack Grizz. I'm Brick Johnson. Thank you for all the comments in here. Your next match is going to be at the Champion Showcase, so congratulations and good luck. It says, I only have one sticker bar. Guess I could raise steaks with a can of spaghetti.
SpaghettiOs for the win. I'm a beefaroni guy, but SpaghettiOs are up there, so we'll go with that.
All right. Well, this has been Conqueror TV. That's BoJack. I am Brick Johnson. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.